A huge shout out to the overthinkers.
An overthinker. He watches the show.
To the overthinkers, shout out Buffet too.
All about Fetu, this is Parker, yeah? Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Thando kuphela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula nizinja nikhokho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Hello, I come back. I hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's great. Let me just make sure that my sound is fine. Okay. See, I'm back, guys. You can't say that we don't love football, guys. Can't say we don't love football. We love it so much. And I just finished covering Kaizer Chiefs, and I'm back again for this review show. And also, yesterday I did a 5-hour stream. 5 hours, fela streamer that we love watching. So please, guys, support, throw some likes there. Give me some gifts, guys. Gift, guys. Stop giving it just to baddies always. Baddies are the ones that get it. Anyway, guys, welcome to the review show. This is just a show where me and you, we get to sit down and I'll let you guys tell me what you think about how the big three played this weekend. So when I speak about the big three, I speak about Mamelodi Sundowns, I speak about Orlando Pirates, and I speak about Kaizer Chiefs. So Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, played Royal AM, beat them 1-0 on Saturday. Pirates then played after them at 8 p.m. and lost to Richards Bay FC, with friend of the show, Coach Vilakazi, who's coaching that side. And then last but not least, we're going to speak about Chiefs that just finished playing 1-1. So let's start off with Sundowns, guys. Remember, you have to be following me in order to be able to jump into the show and add your voice to the show. This show is more for you guys, so I can hear how you guys felt about these games. I'm going to give each topic around 30-35 minutes for us to speak about. So please, when you come onto the panel, try and be as short as possible. Get to your point. I'm going to ask you a question so that we can I'm going to ask you for your general thoughts, and I'm going to ask you a question. Please be as short and as quick as possible so that we can allow as many people on, because I want to hear from a lot of people here. So feel free to request. Bottom of your screen, there's a multi-guest button. It says multi-guest. It's got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. We're going to start off speaking about Mamelodi Sundowns and the 1-0 win that they played versus Royal AM. While I wait for you guys to request, I just want to remind you, the normal show is on Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. That's where we discuss the bigger topics in football more in depth. And then Fridays is my members show. The members, of course, we have a WhatsApp group, an official Overthinking Football WhatsApp group where we get together and we speak about football, man. A lot of football. We go back and forth. We banter. We learn. We teach. We do a lot in that football group. It's incredible. One of the perks is that on Fridays, it's their show. They get to pick the topic and they get to speak a lot. But it's 24/7 access to me and a lot of other people that love football as much as we all do. But so if you want to join that, head on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join. I also make content. So the content that I make, I post almost daily. So if you want to check out any of my stuff and support it, there's videos up on YouTube right now, videos up on Facebook, videos up on TikTok. Share them, like them, do as everything that you can. Guys, Masandawan, Anfunu again. Yeah, Masandawan. Anfunu again. I'll start off with the stats. Mamelodi Sundowns obviously beat Royal AM 1-0. They had 12 shots in total, 2 on target. Royal AM had 4 shots and 2 on target. They had 73% of the possession. 70% of the possession. Royal AM, of course, only at 27. Passes, Sundowns managed to complete 595 passes as opposed to the 216 that Royal AM completed. That will tell you everything you need to know about this game. It wasn't a classic Mamelodi Sundowns game. It wasn't a game that you'd say showed the best of Mamelodi Sundowns to the point where you can say, that this is the team that everybody has been afraid of. Mamelodi Sundowns went with a team with their B team, sort of a B team, including Abolodge, and that's what they've been doing in the league so far this season. The teams were as follows. Onyango Mudawu Mudiba Mvala Kutsia Mkhulise Mbule Mayema Matthews Lot and Shaluli. Now they've been struggling. Mamelodi Sundowns has not been playing classic football. Mamelodi Sundowns has moved away from the type of football that got them early season success, that gave them the blanket, the cushion for them to be able to go and win the league early, as they've done already. For those who don't know, Mamelodi Sundowns has already won the league. They won the league, I believe it was last week, 2 weeks ago, when they beat Kaizer Chiefs 5-1 to make it mathematically impossible for number 2 to catch up to them. So they are the reigning champions. Now, when you are the reigning champions, I guess it's very tough to come into games and think that you can keep the motivation up and think that you can get there and the players will want to play and they'll be there for a reason, because truth be told, they're already done. And also, I feel like this is a deflated Mamelodi Sundowns team, because they came from playing that semi-final that everybody was hoping so high that they were going to be able to get through that and maybe win another Champions League. But it wasn't to be said. So you can tell there's a little bit of fatigue. There's a little bit of complacency that has crept into Mamelodi Sundowns, and you can see it on the game of play. Royal AM was there for the taking. Royal AM was there for the taking. Royal AM is not a team that is going to play you off the pitch. They just so happen to be also down there in the relegation fight. That side that's happening. So they didn't trouble Sundowns. Sundowns had a lot of the ball, had a lot of not so much clear-cut chances, but they were pretty wasteful when we look at the Mamelodi Sundowns. So let me bring in Kolani. Kolani, welcome, my brother. How are you?
Yeah, ngimnandi uthi thanks for isikhathi. Yeah, amasandawana. You could say ukuthi amasandawana don't want to jump in namhlanje because there's nothing much to say about the game zone.
Yeah. But then ngifake wena, ngifake ukhulu wena uthini ngale game zone.
Yeah, I think Mr. Oti, you've put it well, Uguti. Actually, there's nothing much to talk about. But we looked a bit disjointed. Not like we used to. I'm a French players, but I think we didn't play with the purpose, is all. Yeah. I think our players were just there to honor the fixture. Or you could see we played to there wasn't that hunger to go and fight for you win. Like the performance as well, it wasn't as the same as the performance here golden arrows. Yeah. And mind you, we golden arrows, we were meant down, but we show positive. We didn't want to defend even though we were meant down, but we wanted to go and win a game. Yeah. Unlike yesterday. Unlike yesterday, Mr. Oti. And my opponent too. Even the coach before the game, he said, we're just here for the draw. If we get a win, it's a bonus. So he should tell you what if the opponent, the coach your opponent, Mr. Oti, you're bound to get a boring game because Sundowns have nothing to play for except for his status is invisible.
So I want to ask you about those French players. Do you think that with those French players, are there people who are strong enough to step into the first team? Because I think you guys maybe learned this season that kumnandi ukuba ne-first team and play them a lot, but when it comes down to crunch time, angekho mokwena or angekho kutsi at times or uzungu angekho that play key roles abozwani. Do you have enough players that can step into those roles next season for you guys to take the next step? Pela next season, Kali Club World Cup, you've still got Nedbank, you've still got Kali Knockout, you've still got MTN8, you've still got the league, you've got Champions League and expanded AFL. So do you have players now? How do you feel about your fringe players? And can they carry East Mamelodi Sundowns in some of those important games?
Yeah, I think we do have players, and also Mr. Oti, if to be honest, I think our team is very it's a new team, but going to the following season, I think every player would would like understand how do we want them to play, which position are they going to face going forward. Because Mr. Otsi, I think by now, because my players are minding I figure half season, like I'm going that January. So I think makali season entsha bazobe sebe adaptile in terms of play and also bacclimatizer weather yase South Africa. So for me, I don't think we really need to beef up the squad kangako. Or maybe we might beef up the squad for a World Cup, but for continental football and the league, I don't think we need to beef up. But as you know, at Sundowns we always beef up. We always do our corrections this season. But my friend players, I think Mr. Otsi, because even our coach after the game said he pleaded with us, Otsi, we need to like be patient with Ule Sebanku, because for him he regards him as a player with a lot of weapons, to quote his word. So I think isikhathi salama games now asele these remaining games I think we will use our French players to also try and use them and have a feel ukuthi kunjani ukudlala kwe-Sundowns.
But then ngiyababona bonku mina ngikhuluma ngabomkhulise your youngster abomkhulise abombule abomayema
Our forever youngster.
your forever youngster, those type of players, man, that have been at Sundowns for a little while now. But I know Agent always speaks about Umbule and he says that he doesn't trust him, that he's too casual to play for his Sundowns. Is it time maybe to move on from those guys? And also, Shalulile, there's a big question over that guy.
Yeah, Otsi, for my players afana nabo or Neo Mayem, I think they are going through a rough patch or manje, because Mama ngikhumbula kahle uMayema last season he was hot, Mr. Otsi. I think uthatha isikhathi eside to recover from red card ayithola nge-semi-final CAF Champions League first leg. I think leyo nto leyo yamphazamisa mentally. So and also like you mentioned Umbuli is too casual, Mr. Otsi. And also I'm not so happy with weight yakhe, Mr. Otsi. Like umzimba wakhe, it doesn't look like an athletic body. Like ukhuluphele, Mr. Otsi. We know Umbuli from the Super Sports. I'm not sure if he have a life idlala indima lapho. Maybe he's having so much he have a life nama milkshake lawa umakuphela game. Maybe it might be the reason, but I think I check and I as an individual if he really still wants to play for his Sundowns, because at Sundowns you might have a talent, but also you have to be disciplined and also have a body to contest, because we need gladiators. Our team, 2016 we had gladiators, the fighters. So you might come with your special recipe as a master chef, but Mr. Otsi, you're going to need someone with a very sharp knife to cut down my bones, Lawa. It's bones. Yeah, Mr. Otsi.
Okay. Mina ngiyamangala nimbiza master chef manje makhuluphele, there's a problem. Let me go to Zola. Zola, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey Manu.
What do you think about this game? Mamelodi Sundowns and Raleigh played Mawan.
Right. Sundowns actually, like I say, because Sundowns they got quality.
Yeah.
So every game they start the battle win. So there's no use. It's like you're watching Real Madrid playing against Golden Arrows. Why it's already auto.
Yeah.
But we're eating most now welcome to Chiefs, but Chiefs is not performing. But Sundowns can when I just Sundowns can win every game. if Sundowns just can, if baka bencha the players tsa bona ba di sebedisang bo Zwane bo Mama ba dlale bo Mandieta bo Mkolisi ba hungry for game bo Maema yabo, if baka dlala bona the players tsa ba di bench tse mo kaofela baka end up ba wetle bo ma 80 points because abana losing on agent, so they can win every game.
So then,
Yeah, so they can break every record they have on PSL. Ke utlwile ka go a botsa
ne ke re ke batla go botsa gore tsona
Ke mametse.
di-French players tseo, do you trust them? Because the way I see it, the moment Sundowns is in Mokwena, the moment Sundowns Zwana CEO or is not playing well, the moment when the players are important more that they can't do without, do you think that the French players at Sabona, will they be able to come in and keep up the standard next year for the competitions that Sundowns is going to be playing?
Actually, the French players are one of the savings. Because the French players are one, I feel like I already useless. Adi Bapala, Adi Nix, Adi given to a San Jose Bapala. The French players are one of the Bapala, exactly the Bolo Bapalangi Chiefs, the about Kuf. They can't get the rapid tennis ball. Adi Tibo Bapala, take a Sundowns. Take a Sundowns, it's for Gibom Koli, Sikivo, Mayema, Dola Basabatut Bapala, Bomediate. So bona ba batla cause since ba rekile di players tsa di French player ba di rekile ka di 50 million bo di 30 million ba batlo ba pala ntse tsa kasi tse ba mbote ka teka ba pala di money ba rekile ka bo 50 million, which aba understand the philosophy e dlalwang ke Sundowns. Ba nyaka ba pala bolo ya bona ya bo e ka re ke tennis, and then exactly bolo e ne dlalwang ke Chiefs last of the time when bapala ke Medondot ne Medondot una raya bolo from backline to exactly helicopter, and then I fit on ko vision ko vision akor poof poof poof, then I lose the league ka 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Isa la go to number 1 I feel like game ga lose, I feel like ga lose ndo a tse nyanyana tse di tse ba go bea bolo skube di late motho like bo vilakazi bo Zwane bo mokwena di dlala bolo ya kasi bo jabu di dlala bolo tsa ntsa bo jabu pula tse le sa motho straight di be bolo fatshe di pass. So ye ya helicopter ye ya bo bafana ba bantu o ibone mo se di goal ya mo bana ba pala I get frustrated bana ba pala but una le one on one le keeper, then poof I plus us for be maropa to 50 meter that make a shave give me gay marwa etse ba mo so analyst.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if I can just jump in before let me just jump in. Guys, basically I was asking about for those who I see Kekarot ask for English. The question I'm asking is that we know that Mamelodi Sundowns is deep. We know that Mamelodi Sundowns has a lot of players. We know that they've got a lot of quality players. But the feeling this season that we get from Mamelodi Sundowns is that they are very good players, but they are very important players that if they don't have them there, it sort of breaks down the whole thing. So, for example, we saw Mokwena not make it into the semi-final because of an apparent injury. But then you could tell Sundowns is playing differently, right? For the past few games and right before we got to the semi-final, Mamelodi Sundowns has been playing this wide game, crossing game. As Uzola put it, that it's a lot like a helicopter, right? And is he playing helicopter because of the personnel that he has, or is he playing helicopter because he understands that we can't do the normal things that we do as the Mamelodi Sundowns? And now you look at that bench and you say, if you have 40, 50 players sitting there on the bench, but that 45 players or 40 players, you can't trust them. Why have that full squad, right? And there's also a question about rotation. Is Sundowns maybe this season what killed them in terms of the other competitions? The fact that they played one team for so long, right? They played so long that those guys, when they started getting injured, Abomkuli Selaba weren't getting as much game time. So it's very interesting to see that Kolani, I want to ask you about your Raleigh M. Is this States league? Is this the state of the league that Raleigh M is a team that is flirting with relegation? It's a team that could also make it go top 8, but Abaram Futo, they're not coming with anything. Coach Wabo told them from the beginning, draw, and I think they were very happy with this result. Lapagu Gule came Sundowns. What does this say about Iliketu?
I would say, can I first add to my French players, and then I'll come back to your question. I think, okay. I think also chemistry does count, Mr. Oti. It's not like our French players are below the average of Sundowns, because when Lodge arrived, our main players they couldn't trust him, but since he has been getting a game time, there's a bit of trust now and a bit of understanding in terms of how our Sundowns play and how our abilities at Lodge could help us as the Sundowns. So I think that also counts. For if you could repeat the question, Mr. Osi, because we want to cut because I think I'm struggling with the network.
Oh no, I was saying when you hear John Maduka come out and say that he's looking for a draw, when you see a lot of teams play versus Sundowns and they don't actually go for them, they don't actually want to play, even though ilapa relegation zone, it's hovering there. Napa, they could be even getting in top 8. What does it say about our league that games can be games can be just passed on, man? It can be fine to lose to Sundowns. You don't see them trying anything.
Yeah, Mr. Osi, that one is very much concerning because and also it's very bad for our image for image league, yes, because you can't be saying post pre-games that you are just here for a draw. It devalues for me a game that you're about to get into, and also it's bad for image league because Mr. Oti, you might say that behind closed doors, or maybe come a post-match and say Sundowns is a very good team with a lot of quality players, so I'll take a draw. Not say it before the game, because by doing that you are saying to us we played with our money to come and witness you trying to get a point, and not contest for a win. And also, Mr. Oti, it's also concerning that the difference between number 15 and number, I would say 6 or number 7, it's like 3 or 4 points in between. So with that, it shows, would say, I think we're lacking somewhere. I'm not sure if we're lacking technically, or our players doesn't have that drive to put their team up there, or even secure the top 8 spots very early, like Sundowns do. That's in Sundowns will win the league, even Sasele 6 games, Mr. Oti. But somehow teams are struggling to secure a top 8 spots early. They only need to take the league, like they only need the whole games to secure the spot. So that Mr. Oti it's kind of off for me. I think we need to improve on that.
Zola, what does this say about our league? Because it feels as though teams roll over versus Sundowns, and you see coaches like Coach Maduka coming out and saying that I'm playing for a draw. I don't care about anything else. Anything else would be a bonus. How does it feel? What does that say about the state of our league, number one? But then also number two, it's not like Royal AM is rolling over for Sundowns and then they're going out and beating every other team or playing hard. It seems like all of them, I'd say 13 teams in the league, have just decided that, hey guys, what is the point of this? What does it say about our league?
I feel like our league is very poor. First of all, we don't have a hunger for a game. We just there to play to get our paycheck. We're not there to play to get any point. We just there to play and get our paycheck. Because Sundowns is dominating everything. Actually, Sundowns killed the game. Because if Sundowns they see a player that is playing too much of Royal AM, they buy that player. If they see someone that is playing too much in Stellenbosch, they buy that player so that they can kill the momentum. Because now Mendieta was playing too much on Stellenbosch last of season. They bought Mendieta and then they bench him, and then Nyoso was playing on Pirates too much, and then they bought Nyoso and then they bench him. Sundowns, because they got too much money, they buy every player that is playing on PSL so that they can dominate everything. But now they don't win anything. They just win the league. They can't win the Nedbank or top 8. I think okay, they buying the players. I think they buying the players to compete on like Champions League. I don't know.
Yeah.
But because now they don't win. They don't win on what the hell? They don't win leagues. They only win one league, but they don't win Nedbank. They don't win top 8. They don't win Black Label. They only win. Yeah, they don't win CAF because they lost now. They have too much players like Mediator, all those players that we thought they playing too much good football, but they benched them. They didn't win even. Now they draw on CAF against experience. They're supposed to put. They have B line, A line, and C line.
Yeah.
On A line team, they got 3 squads. And I heard them complaining that they playing too much games, but they have too many players. They don't even have to complain because they have too many players. They have best players. All the players they can play on Bafana.
Yeah.
If the C line of Sundowns can play on Bafana and they can win the games. But Sundowns, they will complain that okay, they're playing every game, but they are busy playing Tshwane. They depend on Tshwane and then they depend on mokwena. But if they can patch mokwena and Tshwane, they can still play Mayema, Mkolisi, and then Mediator. They can win the games because Mkolisi and Mayema, they are quick and fast like Tshwane, but they don't have that dribbling of Tshwane. Tshwane is the best. Tshwane is playing like Dr. Kumalo because he can handle the game and then he can see the loopholes and pass. He's playing like he's playing like Dr. Kumalo. He's playing like Jabupule. He's too slow, but his focus. He can read the game, so he can see where is the striker, and he can pass the balls in the loopholes, and then the striker can score. So Zwane is the best player we have on the league right now.
Okay.
If Sundowns doesn't have Zwane, I don't think Sundowns can win anything.
Okay, no.
Zwane is the best player we have now.
For time's sake, we're gonna move on to the next topic. But thank you so much, guys. Remember, everybody can jump in. We can have a conversation. We started off with the Sundowns game. Here are my thoughts and why I get so frustrated by smaller teams and like most of the teams in the PSL. I feel like they write off this game versus Sundowns. I feel like there's 13 teams who come into the Sundowns game and say losing is fine. Let's not try too hard. We just have to honor this thing, survive for 90 minutes and then go home. And Royal AM, for me, is no different, right? You cannot have a league where 13 teams look at Mamelodi Sundowns and say, you know what, guys, they're just so good and so invincible, we're not going to do anything. And I think that is a big problem in our league because our coaches don't plan for this game. You could tell there's no plan. It's get there, defend, try to hold on for as long as possible so that you can get that 1 point. And that's what we see. That's what we see. To the point where a Mamelodi Sundowns team that did not play well, a Mamelodi Sundowns team that did not gel well, they don't have the chemistry. You could tell that the French players are not that strong. But just by virtue of being Sundowns, they've won that game because Royal AM is not coming with a plan. And what scares me is that people speak about jobs. Here's Kakarot. Remember, OT, people's jobs are at stake. Okay, what's worse? What's worse? Me trying and losing versus Sundowns, or coming out, rolling over, and knowing that I am close to the relegation zone right now. Royal AM is number 14, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. It's number 14, if I'm not mistaken. They're right there. Richards Bay is climbing to try to take Royal AM out, right? They could even forget about trying. Yeah, they're actually number 14. They're 2 points ahead of Richards Bay. So for me, you can't take Sundowns off because these are new anyway. But you've got 2 games left to try salvage this season with a Richards Bay team that is chasing you. You'd imagine that is motivation. You'd imagine that on the other end, that being a Royal AM that's number 14 with 29 points, but it's only 6 points away from top 8. That changes the whole season, right? So you'd imagine that there's some motivation that this team has to go and do better, but they don't. They write it off. They look at it and they say Sundowns is invincible, it's too good. Football is about 90 minutes, guys. You only play Sundowns twice. So the frustrating thing outside of how they play versus Sundowns is also that the same Royal AM team is going to go out and go play the next game that they have. And when they play that next game, they're going to have the same level of low effort. They're going to have the same tum-tum. We're not going to know what they're doing. And I think it would be fine, honestly, if this was 6 teams out of the 15, out of the 16 that's doing this. It would be fine if there were less people who are willing, who are okay with just surviving. But now it seems like 12, 13 teams are just surviving every single game. Maybe today I'll win, tomorrow you're not going to be able to tell me exactly how they won or why they won. They'll just go out there and, and these are paid professionals who do this for a living every single day. So when you come out versus the Sundowns, I expect you not necessarily to win, but I expect Sundowns to have to use every bit of their quality to beat you. But how many games the Sundowns played this season where they don't even have to leave gear 2? They don't even have to go that hard. And then Jiggy, we look back on the season and they're gone. Sundowns is literally on 66 points. Stellenbosch just got to 50. Just got to 50. I don't even want to speak about the Pirates. They're all behind. If you look at the gap between Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, for example, it's 31 points. That's 10 games and a draw. So our teams have to get better, and our teams have to realize that, like I said, it's football is 90 minutes. They play football, you play football, they do it for a living, you do it for a living. You don't have to go pound for pound with them, but have a plan. If you look at when Sundowns goes to play CAF Champions League games, I don't think AS Tunis, I don't think Ahly, I don't think any of those teams are playing the most expensive football and going pound for pound with Sundowns. The only difference is that they understand that, okay, in this game, we're going to get 1 or 2 chances. When we get the chances, we must be direct and we must know what we're doing and where we're going immediately. I don't see that from our teams. So Sundowns is going to be able to play their B team players who don't have chemistry, who are not in it. They're going to get to play this tactic of theirs that's not working because they understand that, oh, well, we've won the league already, but also it's not like we're going to get hurt. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. The next match up is the game Orlando Pirates. The game that Orlando Pirates played versus Richards Bay. just to give you some of the stats. Let me just find it. Just to give you some of the stats of that game. 15 shots by Orlando Pirates, 3 on target. 6 shots from Richards Bay, 3 on target. Pirates had 74% of the possession, 653 passes with 90% pass accuracy, whereas Richards Bay had 26% of the possession, 241 passes and only 71% possession. But you know what I love about yesterday's game? What I love about yesterday's game is that Richards Bay showed some balls. Richards Bay came out in the game versus Pirates and they said, you know what, guys, we're also going to play. They came out and they committed 3 players up front. Nsundwana, Barnes, and I'm forgetting the other guy. They were committed up front, the 3 of them. And they said, you know what? Rather we look dangerous, Nati, than for Pirates to just hit us and pummel us. And it worked out. Richards Bay managed to get the 1-0 win. It became shaky towards the end, but you can't take away the fact that they had a plan and they executed the plan. Now, on Pirates' side, I tell you guys every single time, you cannot play Nda, Ndondlo, and Tim. You cannot play them all in the same team. It doesn't work. Too many people are holding the ball. Nda wants to hold the ball. Ndondlo wants to hold the ball. Tim wants to hold the ball. By the time it gets to Tito, by the time it gets to Mfukeng, the dangerous players at Pirates, the other team is set. They're defensively set. If you watched yesterday's game, they isolated Mfukeng. Because by the time the ball got to Mfukeng, they could put 2 players on him. There goes your danger, your threat. To the point where Jose Rivero, to his credit, started switching towards playing towards the right-hand side as a reply to this. If you watch that game, Mfukeng went missing in the second half because they were playing on the right-hand side so as to spread that defense. But Pirates, we say this all the time. They lack inconsistency. If Pirates could find consistency, they could be the most dangerous team in the league. But if Pirates is going to play with this, Pirates is a pace team. They play pacey football, fast football. They can't play boring, slow football. And I think them choosing to do that in this game is what actually beat them more than Richards Bay beating them. Yes, I gave them credit right now, Richards Bay, but Pirates shot themselves in the foot with the way that they were playing. Ndondlo, again, to go back to it, Ndondlo's best this season was at the beginning of the season when Toki and Sibisi were playing together, when his partner was Munare. You know what that means? That means that the ball comes directly from Chain to Ndondlo. Ndondlo doesn't contend with anybody in the defense as he does with Nda for the ball. He doesn't contend with anybody in the midfield as he does with Utim for the ball. He's going to go assist to Saleh. So that means that the ball could move a lot quicker. Chain, Ndondlo, Tito, go. When Pirates has been playing well over the past few games, it's been where there's no Ndondlo in the middle. So what does that mean? The ball goes Chain, whoever it is at the back, goes directly to Tito. They can cause havoc up front because they're transitioning so quickly. So it's not rocket science, but it does bring me some questions where I ask the question, for example, will Jose be able to control a big team? Should they get into the Champions League, possibly might get into AFL when they decide how the teams are going to be structured, but can he handle a big team? Because right now he has a couple of people and, you know, but anyway, I don't want to take too much time. Let me open it up. Remember, guys, if you are here, you want to speak about Pirates. So I'm leaving it open for Pirates, guys, and I'm going to let in Pirates. We're talking Orlando Pirates versus Richards Bay. That is what we're talking about today. Oh. Takababa.
Baf.
Unjani?
Hayi kuwusuzwile yena.
Awu khona i-echo. Mtshele velile uboneni kule game yenu ne-Richards Bay?
Yeah man, first ngibingelele lapho kuwe Baf. And what I would like to say, or maybe firstly, was based on your comments or opening statements with regard to Pirates and inconsistency and whether Rivero can be able to coach a big team and also challenges. in Real Madrid, is it we know how they play. It's the big team in Spain, Real Madrid. What did they do when they went to Manchester with Champions League? Did they play their normal football?
Yeah.
They are normal. They didn't attack much. They knew with Manchester City.
Yeah.
Manchester City, we will hold the ball, and they allow them to do that. I'm raising this because I'm not complaining about the coach whatsoever, as if like ngathi manje masidliwe siyabala, but it's just it's a matter of just highlighting those different aspects that probably maybe the coach and the team need to consider. As I've said, like on our group chat in the morning, go to. And sometimes there are certain things that you don't need to do. You don't need to play the same way you won't come a game for 30 games with PSL. At some other games, you need to be strategic. The same thing happened when Upita was coaching the Sundowns, whereby he was leading Kaizer Chiefs was second, and he was leading Kaizer Chiefs on a 6 point, and he was playing away AFNB against Kaizer Chiefs. And Upita said, "I'm not going to attack. I'm going to park the bus. I'm going to just while he's number one, and we know how Sundowns played on the pitch. Said I'm not going to because these are the guys that are for number points game. If they can make me drop points, then I'll be in trouble. So it's better for me and Anabo to get 1-1 and not get more from each other. Because they are my direct competition. Pizza did that. Coming to yesterday's game, as I've said, a group in Guti, I felt Stellenbosch has done us a huge favor by Swallows by beating Stellenbosch 2-0, which makes it now equal difference between Stellenbosch and the Pirates. I think the Pirates will be +2. If or +2 or +3 there. So, and the Stellenbosch is leading you with 1 point, of which already you get 1 point, you are on number 2 with goal difference of +2. Then you can relax. Yesterday, Pirates didn't need to approach it the same way they always approach the game. They just need to relax. As much as you said with the just Bay, they've come now, but they didn't come that much. They've packed 7 at the back and released those 3 only.
Yeah.
So which means they're playing the semi-mid block, young told. So that's why I'm just saying, from my different perspective is that surely Pirates coach yesterday should have just relaxed, put players there on the defense, put players go middle field. If you have to put stronger one, and sometimes I've got this feeling Unda can play defensive midfield better than all of them combined there. Those are our regular
Unda. He playmaker.
He can play that position so well. Let's go because he's got a pass. Let us draw that way. This is Ngalile. I don't know what's happening on Sean. Unda just do it precisely. You look at the last game, basically, it was during the week against what? Where on a cheaper. Again, just do those things. 1 or 3 passes, long range. I told the target. So yesterday's game was not all about winning. It needed that strategy to get a point. If you draw a nil, it's still okay. We get 1 point. We are on 50, equal with Stellenbosch, but we are on number 2. So we go to the next game, so relaxed.
But then, Velile, can I push back, Kangan?
Yeah.
I think the problem got Jose is that he changed how Pirates had been playing over the past few weeks. And the reason why I said it in Shilo, Itali game, ngati Ndlondlo.
Yeah.
Team, da. Why would you now, Makshisa, Yashisa Manje? Why would you bring these players in right now when you're chasing Stellenbosch? For me, it's either Senzalea, Koguti, Spaki Pass, or we carry on playing the way best Dalaga Kona because we've got the momentum. But now, Maufaga Lauma player, you lose Mfukeng, you lose him. You lose Utito because Abasol Toli Paula in times when you have Abotito na Bumfukeng, Bafuna 1-on-1, Bafunale 1-on-1 on transition, light defender. Velile. Guzu number 10 Kichima is coming straight at you. I have to do something. That's where they're hot. Why change it now?
No, but at some point it's not about only changing. In South Africa, most successful teams, the team that plays more in terms of Premier League games, number games, Cups, they tend to suffer more. They're at a disadvantaged in most cases as compared to team yakho nje eshawe ngoMilton kudala le ku-Nedbank Cup, yabona. So your successes on cup games, Makakithi mntu waphuma kudala, so you only left with PSL games. So your successes in cup games, they tend to be your disadvantages in league games, especially in team njenge-Pirates, whereby now it's a win or die situation whereby they're competing. It's less pressure now with Sundowns because the Sundowns, they've won the league. So on this remaining league game, pressure I find Pirates, but my Pirates need their best players for now so to compete for number 2 and make sure. But now the card angazi PSL why ingabi na this year ukuthi ama-card wathola ku-league, they must only apply to league. If we talk about cup games, they must only apply to cup games because the more you progress, the more you suffer the consequences now because i-Pirates final league. But ama-players amaningi amanye athola ama-card emagamini wama-cup which affected them. Yes, abombati bebangekho and umbati how he links kahle futhi no Tito noMufukenge noMonyane if it's coming on noDlamini. Njengoba sekudlala uDlamini mawusale ngangekho. So your successes kakhulu kuma-cup game, it becomes a problem. It will still become a problem when you open again ku-MTN 8. If you get more yellow card on cup games, the more you progress, the more you suffer when it comes to league games. So that's why you'll find that sometimes I don't believe Jose changes his starting lineup just for fun. If you look at sometimes I'm a player. Uyakhawateka uMakhawula don't know ukuthi ulimele last game or what because azange asabuya second half and we don't know what would happen. There's no report whether he's suspended or maybe or what. So,
muting you on purpose. I'm gonna come to you. Don't worry. Hey.
So Asaz, it's one of those things. But I mean, as my main point as in Shilo Elan Goti, I just believe sometimes strategy you just need to change. Our coach yesterday, there was no need to rush. There was no need to play a normal game. Now it's a do or die situation. It's 3 games. Yesterday's one. After yesterday's one, is 2 games left. Take 1 point. I'm on number 2. Let the guy back on number 3. I'm gonna feel the pressure. Next game, you go to the next game so relax without any pressure. But now, Mike, since we're under pressure, food. It was not as time to kululeka. We always like to put ourselves under pressure now and then, instead of just making things easier for us. So tactics sometimes, yes, they are there, but sometimes strategy. You look at what's in front of you and said, okay, how do I go through this now? What will be the strategy I'm going to use? Just 1 point yesterday, it was enough for us. There was no need to rush. I'm a player going forward, playing your normal style. No, you're supposed just to take things simpler. Swallows has done job for us, I mean.
Okay. Let me bring in Oratile. Welcome to the show. Tell me, Pirates, I want a Pirates icon now, profile picture. We wanted one game Mabani between Pirates and Richards Bay.
Pirates. Like, the Pirates did a pentile Pirates. In pay. Pati disappoint me. But I feel for pega para wa pati edela. Mari pagakin kayan ikagakin. Ama anyway kali wina mari. Tu babane kini pati for kagalan ka pera kami wa idiwa. Wa idiwa.
It's a mail wrong guy Maubane Kimo Nelly winner the game say 5 or 6 in a row. Libriga Jono.
Libriga como Mona. I know. Caromana como please relouis de Mona. I get a time. Go on.
Ratile. Oh. Okay, I'll come back, Ratile. Kari Katile Mo. Let me go to okay, Malum Schweinsteiger. request again.
Sure,
Alright, and I'll
how's
let
it?
you in. I'm good. Malum, tell me, what did you think of the game that Pirates played versus Richards Bay?
I think we played with a very organized team. That's the thing. So these guys actually knew what they're here to do. You know, they came in with a plan. You could just see with them how they. It's okay. We're just gonna keep our shape. They kept their shape throughout the game. So now Pirates couldn't just penetrate. A lot of people would just blame Undlo and everything. I didn't see anything wrong with Undlo because now the coach had to do those changes. Just to go for it. I know we want to be on the top number 2. You know, we're fighting with Stellenbosch and Swallows already done us a favor. Sundowns can also do us a favor because remember, Stellenbosch still needs to play Sundowns. So Sundowns still to keep. So now, yeah, it's either they draw or they would lose. You know, so we can, take advantage of that, making sure that it's possible for us to be number 2. So I would never ever blame the coach for what happened. Just that they're very organized. It was a very organized team, the United. So I think for us, we just needed Saling.
Yeah. How do you feel about this conversation we're having about the pace of the game? So, for example, I believe that Jose, in bringing in so many ball holders, Dan, team to a degree, that it slowed down Paris to a point where they were uncomfortable. And then you have Uvelile, who believes that maybe they should have played a more defensive game. Where do you fall with that?
Yeah, with that, yes, the coach might have done a mistake with just let's hold them off. Like the coach wanted to see what they can do. So the best thing that Bay United did, they kept their shape. They were just waiting for us. It was more like a same strategy. It's okay, let's hold the ball. Let's try to play the ball. Let's just play. Let's just play the ball. We know we got Mabas over there. If you get a chance, we got Tito. Tito can just do the magic. It's normal. So Tito was out. Tito was out, so we are expecting Tito to do something as well. Undlondle as well, hold the ball. I think that was the mistake with team as well. Because now, previous game he came in as a sub. I think he could have kept that, to bring him as a sub again, just to hold the ball. You understand? Because the second half on the previous game, they brought him to just hold off the lead. So now we cannot hold the ball for a lead with 0-0. So team was supposed to come in as a sub. So that's why immediately, second half, team was just out. So it was one of those minor mistakes because we got yellow cards, so we had to just change. But now, I don't want to take anywhere away from me, Bay United. They were very organized, very chilled, very organized, very confident with the ball. So even Paris was shocked. Hey, is this the team we're playing against? Because now these people are trying to survive relegation. The way they play, they really want to survive.
Okay. Do you trust Jose with a big team? So the reason why I ask is that he's had a lot of options throughout the season, and I think he struggled to find a proper squad or a consistent squad. Now, if you guys get into the Champions League, you're going to have more games. If the AFL is really true, you're going to have AFL 2, you're going to have a Nedbank, you're going to have MTN8, Carling, and the league. Do you believe that Jose will be able to handle all of those games and the bigger squad? I'm sure Pirates will have to go and recruit.
In order for us to say that, to discuss that, if Jose had an opportunity to buy certain players, then most definitely he can. Because now remember, Jose, you got players there, so he needs to work with what he sees, So whatever he's seeing on the practice room, on the training ground, it's what he has. So I got a choice, So whatever mistakes he has, probably if they can just give Jose that opportunity to say, okay, buy certain players that you feel that, okay, you can work with and understand for the other competition. Most definitely, he's a very good coach. Very good coach. No doubt about that. So, yeah, that's my answer for that. If he can buy 2-3 players of his own, then most definitely he can.
Okay. I'll come back. Let me go to Untozake. No, Untozake, welcome to the show. How are you?
I am fine, my brother. How are you?
Hi, man. Right. Tell me, what did you think of this game that Paris played versus Richards Bay?
Oh, yabona Mr. Otine. Fortunately enough, my home game, I normally go to a stadium, just to get that feeling again. When we are there, and Ubabu Abonge, there are movements of the ball with the ball, and you get to see mistakes about committee, player, especially when the team is losing. That's why you get to notice the mistakes, because when the team is winning, we don't get to see the mistakes that we are committing. Now, a part is all. You'll remember that Umbata was suspended. So maybe I'm a fan of Umbata because I like how we play as an 8, because that's where Undlondlo has been feeling us most of the time. And he can't play as an 8, because if you've got a team, I know Team Makaula, they are just cleaners, just here to protect, because they know that Parade will attack with their wing backs. So they want to make sure that at least we are left with 3 people at the back, meaning your 2 defenders and also a holding midfield or a defensive midfield. But when you play an 8, we Parade now with double 10, Gamaswanga, no Dlamini. It means you must be creative when it comes to collecting the ball from the back, especially when we are attacking, building from the back. You need to be creative. You need to play one-touch football. You need to know your surroundings. You need to turn, because we don't want to see Umaswangai and Dlamini coming to collect the ball. We want them to be on the opposition last third, because now what you get when we play with Umbat, you find Pirates building with 5 people, from the back, 7. It will be China, 2 center backs and 2, and those are left back and a right back, then Makaula and also Umbat. Then this says Umaswangai, Dlamini, Mabasa Mfukeng, don't come with center line here, to just stay behind, allow Umbata to receive the ball, then make that quick turn. If Umbata can't turn, then he's going to play China. Then China has a pass from defend straight to midfield, where he's going to link with Dlamini or Umaswangai. Yesterday, you did not see that football, which is going to isolate defense, go away defense of Richards Bay versus 4 attackers separate, because Ndlondlo was just playing a simple football, which Uvelile was saying. We're so conserved, we didn't want to take risk, especially about Ndlondlo said. They didn't want to take risk. They were so conserved in their play. And when Richards Bay scored, they continued to play the same way. There was no aggression in terms of moving with pace, as you were saying, that the Pirates is the team that plays with pace. They play with style and move. Their passes, the difference between a passing game, a Sundowns and a Parade, is that a Parade, it has a lot of pace. You pass while you are moving. With Sundowns, sometimes they pass while they are just taking 5 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards. But with Parade, you pass while you are moving. So they did not have that aggression of going forward. That's why we did not have many 4v3 or 3v2, those situations where we make a quick turn when the team is pressing us from high, and then we break their first line of defense. Then they expose their center backs against our attackers, which are very skillful, and Mabasa just stays on the box and finishes. Yesterday, we did not get those opportunities. You said we've got about 15 shot, but how many were clear on those 15 shots? I think is that one Mfukeng Nakona, it was not created with just individual brilliance, Lasha Ikoni Pole, and at the cross Maswangai cutting inside the box, and Umahopa like Mr. that head. Those were only 3 clear-cut opportunities. And Umaswangai was frustrated throughout the whole game. When he received the ball, people were not moving to space. Munyane was shy to make that move right, so that he can play those cutbacks. And he was so shy. Umaswangai was so frustrated that he ended up moving the whole ground, because he did not have an option when he had the ball. Where am I going to play? But then that brings me a question to my player about game time, such as Abo Ndlondlo, Abo Kapinga, Abo Otlatisa, to really know what is Parade, to really know what does it takes for you to be on a starting lineup, to want to raise up your hand and give a coach stress going to next season. I want to be part of this team, because coach will sign a player, and if it gives you a chance, show the coach that you want to be part of this team, because you have not been playing for almost the whole year. Now, final days is giving you a chance, and you are so shy of the game. Then this is your last game. Unfortunately, your last game playing for Parade.
Do you trust Jose with a big squad? Because, like you say, Kwanama player and Amanengi this year, he got to sign a lot of players that came in. do you trust him ngale squad ukuthi angakhona ukuyenza lento ayenzayo with added pressures of the Champions Leagues, with added pressures of, you know, if the AFLs, the other trophies, Pella. Next year, if you guys make it into Champions League, it's going to be a lot of games and a lot of travel. Do you trust Jose with those type of things?
You know, I'm one of the person on a believe we big squad. Like when you say big squad, we talk about 80-something players. Now I believe in just 25 players, where you've got two squads, a squad and a B squad, you know.
Yeah.
Because that squad is very manageable. And if what makes a squad strong, it's when you've got a very best starting 11 and a very good bench, you know, so that when you substitute, you know, to substituting a like for a like. Sometimes you have too many players, but those players, if now you have to make changes, you are stressed, dude. Are they going to give me the same performance as the one is starting 11? You know, so what you need to assemble first, according to me, Rivero, is to have a very good starting lineup, starting 11 that is going to win games, so that they can take pressure off them. You know, because once you've got a starting 11 that wins games, and then you've got a gap of about like the Sundowns, how they are now, you've got a gap of 10 points. And you're doing well even with Champions League, maybe you're on group stages and you've won your first 3, now you are free. Then you can be able to rotate your squad just to save the legs of your starting 11, you know.
Yeah.
So you need a very good starting 11 that is going to win games, so that it becomes easier for a coach to play other players to save legs, you know. Because if you're going to have a big squad, it's not easy to manage all 36 equals.
Yeah.
Because those people, they want to play, they want to be seen, so it's not easy. And if you look at a team like Pesha, yes, it's a different case. Look at Manchester City, they've got 25 Pesha, 25 players, then youngsters.
Yeah.
You know, and they play all these games. Yes, you can talk about traveling and stuff, which is simple, but they play so many games. Their league consists of about 38 games. They've got FA Cup, Carabao Cup, international games. Everyone on their squad, they go for international teams. But still, you look at these people and they are performing game in, game out. So it's about having good management, having good coaches, a physiotherapist, you go to your conditioning coach and everyone, and you have a best starting 11 that is going to win you games. Then it takes off pressure from the coach to be able to make those substitutes in. So, I mean, I believe in a manageable squad of 20 to 30 players. And then if you have a very good starting 11, then it's easier for him to context.
Kolani, the reason why I'm asking is that in the middle of the season, I just want to respond to Kolani there in the comments. In the middle of the season, I felt as though there was a point where the squad got the better of him, you know, trying to fit in Aboloch while having Abondlondo leaving for injuries and coming back, while having the different defenders and the goalkeepers. I think there was a point where Pirates had lost itself a little bit. And they went through a moment where Utito was playing 6 at some point and a defensive sort of 8 on the right-hand side, and Kimvuyudi was being tried, and Abu Kapinga was still on the bench. There was some flux that happened, and my question becomes, when you have the flux, it can be manageable. You can make it back again, because our league is not necessarily that competitive when it comes to it, right? So you can still have a Pirates fighting for second place right now. But what happens when Pirates has to fight for second place right now, but also has to go play Champions League games and also has to do all that stuff, where you can't necessarily rest the team? You know, like you still have to play your A game, go CAF, because it's the CAF Champions League. You still have to play your A game, go PSL, because PSL is important. You still have to go do all of these things. Will he be able to manage those type of things? I think that's what I'm trying to gauge here. Let me go to Spesihle. Spesihle, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, Mr. OT, no, I'm good, and I'm happy to be finally on the show.
Hi, man, welcome. We're all family here. Tell me, Spesihle, what did you think of the game that Pirates played with Richards Bay?
I think in Richards Bay, they understood the assignment. You know, they understood what was on the line, what was important, and Pirates didn't get going. They just couldn't get going. The midfield wasn't working, and Jose took long to address that disconnect between Utim and Ndlondlo. Because if you look at the game, I think before the game, Richards Bay knew that now they have hope, because all along the permutations was that they were playing for playoffs. But then I'm sure they saw the results between Sundowns and Royal AM, and now they see it like they have a strong fighting chance now to make it out the red zone. Yeah, well, you could see, like, just looking at how they played and everything, those guys were playing for families. They know that bills are on the line and everything. You know, those guys were fighting. They fought better than Pirates. Yeah, well, because Pirates, they were done a solid by Swallows. Swallows did them a massive solid. And now, I'm a Sundown supporter. But yesterday, I was supporting Pirates, but mentality is still the problem with Orlando Pirates. Yeah, well, because how they've been playing the past games, I was like, hey, they are worthy contenders for the league next season. But they still don't understand. But a league is not how you play big games. Big games don't contribute towards winning the league. A league is you wrap it up against bottom dwellers. Polokwane City, Royal AM, Cape Town Spurs, Richards Bay. That's where you win the league. Not against Kaizer Chiefs, that's where you win the league.
So, how do you fix that in the Pirates team? Because I think all of us have spoken about how Pirates it's a big moment team. If they're playing in a cup, you know, they've got cup in their eyes. They want to go and win that cup. They're focused. If they're playing, you know, they in the past few weeks, there was that point where now we're chasing Champions League, and you could tell that they clicked into another gear. How does Pirates sustain that over 30 games in the league? How do you create that mentality?
I think it has to be the coach also as well. You know, I think sometimes I feel like the coach does not use his best players sometimes. You know, sometimes I feel like the coach is Orlando Pirates' worst enemy, you know, because certain games need certain players. Yesterday, if you look at the game needed Zamalek yesterday, but then he was not there. You know, he was not even in the match day squad. We don't even know whether he is injured or what. But yeah, that's all I can say.
Can you trust Jose with a big squad? Do you think, same question I've been asking, can you trust him with a big squad that when he's got all of these competitions in a row, will he be able to manage a huge squad or a sizable squad? Because right now, there was a point where he lost himself, I think, mid-season. So there was a point where he wasn't sure about his tactics and he was trying new players and integrating them and all of that. Just watching him, do you think he'll be able to adapt with all of these new competitions or with Africa?
Yeah, I think yes, I can trust him with the big squad, because if you can look at it turn around, Orlando Pirates over the last 8 to 10 matches, it's been remarkable, to be honest with you. It shows when he finally gets things right, he goes kicking. So his results over the past 8 matches, he does win my trust. And I believe with stronger reinforcements, he can do it. But then the major stumbling block would be mentality. Yeah, well, they still yet to develop that killer instinct like Mamelodi, like Sundowns has. You know, they're still yet to be in that level of thinking and everything.
Okay. Velile, I want to just come back to you quickly because I don't think I gave you a chance, Mtakababa, ukuthi who answered the question ukuthi Jose uyamthemba nge-big squad. Did I ask you that question?
No, bonganguzanga baba.
Oh, do you trust him with everything that's going to happen? Should you guys make it lapha Africa? There's a lot that's going to come with it. Do you trust that he'll be able to adapt?
Ish, depend about the big squad. Depend Mtaba. About the big squad, his Sundowns has got big quality squad. The Pirates has got big squad, but the quality is not the same as to Sundowns. They are players that you cannot even compare. They're totally different in terms of quality. For example, Sundowns, yakhona ukuthi ushalulile abe of form. Uribeiro can play in that part. You can take Uribeiro out, uMendieta ukhona. You take uMendieta out, uSirinho ukhona. You take Umshishi out, Guneo Mayema ukhona. Ebo Mokwena is not there as a trusted soldier, but there's Allende. So, do you see the difference there? Whereby if you do Pirates, if you keep Umabasa, Umakhopa, no. You cannot trust him as a player that can come in and make a difference, especially if uzomfaka like second half managing a zone and expect different results. No, that's not the type of a player that can change you, that can change a match for win. So, and also, masikhuluma nge-big squad futhi while kusase ku-quality futhi. Unama mistakes uRivera. And sometimes it looks like he doesn't learn from them. Because the same thing that was happening yesterday is the same thing that happened when he Cape Town Spurs beat us 1-0 Cape Town first round. It's the same thing. If you look at it, it's the same scenario. So last season, Rivero was costile league with Sundowns, where you've got proper defenders. And some of the players that at least need to be given a chance on certain positions, and especially like right back. What did he do? Rivero last year he played Marco as a right wing, and it was not effective at all. We lost certain game while Marco was playing those games. This season again, he went the same thing again. Was Dlalisela who's this guy on the right back?
Fortune Makaringa.
Fortune Makaring on the right back. We're beaten by a supersport coming from that right hand side to Campbell like a hambang. Go at 3 goals. Consider 3 goals. The match after that, we're leading 2-0. Stellenbosch second half. They put in a Van Veek and said attack Makaring on the right back. They scored 3 goals. Mostly we lost 3 to 4 games in that period.
Yeah.
So if you lost 3 games in that period whereby there was a slump of just khoza by putting some players in incorrect position, or lose about 12 points.
Yeah.
Or 16 points. Those are huge points. Those are really huge points. So you
Manje ngiyabuza ukuthi on top of that 12 points, can you imagine in Morocco? In Morocco, kudlalwa 3 games in a week. Can you manage those type of things?
No, angambona kutshengisa lokho. Why do I say that ukuthi at sometimes he failed to give fringe players an opportunity for a minute if they are leader. Those games whereby we are winning 2-0, 3-0, come on, second half, instead of giving Utladisa 5 minutes, akumnike 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Akumnike 20 minutes instead of 5 minutes. I looking at the table. Umakake goes as this too negative good as still is such a 3-2. Sambangai. So I won't count that. Nomanga is still a part. He was the weakest link in that team. That's why even today since Gwafigulibi, so he has never has unborn as a pension. So I don't see Agna impact the So that's why I showed him coach Wetu Namaputaman. He's a good coach, but he's got so many mistakes of which I think he will learn from them maybe in the 3rd season. The same thing happened to Rudy Grohl when he arrived. We know good first half and first season, not even 2nd season, but quite a lot of verses to Lala boring football, but he managed to pick up on his last season, which was the 3rd year, and winning those triples. So yeah, our coach just need to learn on that. Give others players a chance. While is the Gumnandi, the good thing about Umfukeng is a young player who was promoted, but promoter bakangena adlala emagameni uthola i-support because udlala the most emagameni lapho kumnandi khona, and he's got the support of the players, and it's easy for him to adapt and do all these things lezazenzayo manje in such a way we are confident in him and said he can start the match and finish it. He's our go-to guy now and then because ungena izinto zilula sisemnandi hayi kunzima mntakababa yabo. So yeah, I think it's like because mangasiya ku-CAF next year kuyomele masithi siyasayina sisayine impela equality in such a way that maybe on each position we will need 3 players, especially on a left wing and a right wing, because that's how Jose play. We use most of the wings players, and you can see it. And sometimes if Malimana or they get tired, it becomes a problem because that's the system that we are using. So we need to get 3 right backs and 3 left backs, and maybe 2 up front in terms of left and right wingers, but not that much. Yeah, if we can strengthen those departments, then we will be fine. But we need quality, not just a number.
Ngimele ushanda ukuthi abe fit uzokhala la. 3 right backs. So ngimele ushanda nomunyane babamba nizandla 65 minutes.
No, but like when I was always against it, that substitute sidliwa because I didn't see any use of the substitute there. You know, sidliwa
Thank you so much.
Okay, Bafu.
My thoughts about this are very simple. I think sometimes Jose, he seems like a coach that sometimes he really wants to do something different. I think with Jose, in a perfect world, he's got 2 separate teams that do 2 different things that he can call upon at different times. I just feel like sometimes when he thinks too hard, man, and he does those weird substitutions where, like, for example, I could tell you from the moment that game started that Fukeng is going to be out of this game, Tito is going to be out of the game because they're not getting the ball fast enough. We've seen it before. But I think he really does want to chameleon Nai, and it sometimes messes with him. I think that part of what caught up to Rulani at the end of the season was this rotation thing, that you have to make sure that the whole squad is getting chances. And to be fair to Jose, to be fair to him, I think they were planning for Champions League when they made a lot of those signings. But now you're sitting in the season and Abo Kapinga need game time, Abo Tladisa need game time, Abo Saleh need game time, all these players, Abo Kim Viewed, they need game time. You brought in Abo Makaula, they need game time. You've got at the back, down to the keeper. I think you had Kemang Butelezi Chain and Mtetwa, 3 goalkeepers. Like, there's so many things that you have to manage. Then you have to manage Abo Lodge coming back. I think Lodge leaving was one of the biggest blessings. But I get it in the context of the league where you can take some games off. So he could take some games off to find himself in the league because we know our league, you can catch up later. But what happens when you're playing those other big games? Can you afford that? Can you do that? So it's going to be interesting. Let's see how it pans out. We're going to move on to the last topic for tonight. The game that just played literally, 2 hours ago, where Kaizer Chiefs played the Amazulu. So I'm just going to bring up the stats. Guys, those who are requesting, we're going to be speaking about the Kaizer Chiefs. I know you guys are shy, man, when it comes to Kaizer Chiefs, but jump in, let's have a chat. Kaizer Chiefs managed to score within 2 minutes, a mistake from the Amazulu defense. Gift, manna from God, as they say. And they managed to go up 1, but for the rest of the game, they didn't look into it. Amazulu equalized in the 9th minute. The stats are as follows. Amazulu had 7 shots, 3 on target. Chiefs had 11 shots, 6 on target. Amazulu had 52% of the possession, 434 passes versus 411. The pass accuracy was pretty similar at 79 and 80%. I still don't know what Chiefs wants to do. I still don't understand what Chiefs' plan is. I still don't understand how they want the team to set up. Initially, according to Supersport, when they started the game, they were playing a 4-1-4-1 with Mtetwa as the single pivot, and then Ustebe becoming sort of an 8. And then up front, you had Chivavairo, you had Dupriz on the side. and Modi on the other side. I think Kaizer Chiefs is struggling with just figuring out how to use their players well. I think that they want to play 2 or 3 different types of football all at the same time, and it's not working out. But over and above that fact, I just feel as though there's no life at Kaizer Chiefs. There's nobody who wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck. There's nobody who wants to go and attack. There's nobody who's showing that this is a team that is that was speaking about chasing Champions League, then speaking about chasing Confed, and then find themselves in a top eight fight, right? You'd imagine that at some point somebody would wake up and show us something on the pitch. You watch the way that they build up. The defense will have the ball, and there'll be literally no one who's coming back to collect, right? You'll watch when they get forward that you can tell that Shabalala is incompatible with Chivavairo, who's incompatible with Dupreez, who doesn't play well with Modi. And there was no plan for today. There was no plan. And there hasn't been a plan at Kaizer Chiefs for a while. And what really grinds my gears is that we are 28 games into the league. 2 games left in the league. We have nothing left to play for. We are literally, 31, 32 points away from Sundowns, and nobody's waking up to do anything. Amazulu was Amazulu. They also played a very muted game, to be honest with you. They didn't come with a lot into this game. You can tell by even some of the stats. So we were watching 2 teams just, honestly, it felt like they were honoring a fixture. Nobody cares about top 8. Nobody cares about at least the pride of the team. And that is what really grinds my gears about Kaizer Chiefs when I speak about it. So what I'm going to do, guys, it is open. Those who request now, we're going to speak about Kaizer Chiefs. So if you could please request that we can have a conversation about this game. Can I ask, who is Chiefs' star player? Do you know what my thing is, Steiger? I'm not looking for a star player anymore. I'm looking for a unit. You know, and in as much as we complain about the quality of the Chiefs players, I don't think they are the 8th worst team in the league. I don't think they are 5th or 6th. I think we have a very good squad. I just feel like nobody cares. Like there's no one in Kaizer Chiefs who cares. And you see it on the pitch. Guys, the tactics don't make sense. The tactics don't make sense. We played 60 minutes with Ranga Chivavairo on the pitch. 60 minutes. What do we know about Ranga? Ranga is a really good guy playing in line with the defense. He's physically imposing. He's really good in the air. He's good with his head. Do you cross to him? No. You play Ranga and you make him a sort of number 10. He has to drop back. He's a target man. He has to drop back and he's winning balls in a number 10 position, right? To try give to Dupreez, who's too wide, and Modi, who's too wide. So what are you trying to do? Then he makes the changes where he takes off Aboranga Chivavairo, and now Dupreez is playing as a central striker, and you have Saile on the pitch. But you then allow Santi to push all the way up and start putting in crosses. Crosses that were not there when your main crossing target was on the pitch. I question what they do every day at Jimin. I question what they do tactically. I question if there's video analysis. I question so many things at Kaizer Chiefs because when you watch it on the pitch, you don't see Ustebe, for example. Why plays Tebe as a 10 in a 4-1-4-1? Why plays Tebe as a 10? What type of creativity are you going to get from him? Why not, as we've been crying out, play Abo Zwane as an 8, bring in Abo Mfundo, right? At least have them combine with each other. Guys, I don't know if Chiefs wants to be a helicopter. I don't know if they want to build up the middle. I don't know if they want to be a counter-attacking team, right? Those are the 3 different players that we're mixing into one team. Dupreez is a counter-attacking player. Transition, get the ball. He beats a defender one-on-one with pace. You put in a ball, you put in a through pass, he scores the goal, right? He's on the pitch, on the wing. I've already spoken about Rangachiva Vairo, who's a very good header of the ball, who's physical, who's all of that stuff, which means that you're most probably going to be putting balls into him or crossing, but they don't cross. Then you play with a defensive setup of Mteto and Stebe both being on the pitch, which rings to me as the team that's going to hold the ball back, because neither of these players are attacking in that way. You have all three of these systems happening in one team on one pitch, and we wonder why this team can't score. We wonder why they struggle to defend. We wonder why that midfield is dead. I, for the life of me, do not understand it. At the same time, on top of that, you insist on playing Kwinika right back. You insist on Santi, even though there's a Mashian. And there's rumors that Santi is about to get a 1-year extension on his contract. The team is picking up the option. What is the plan at Kaizer Chiefs? What is the plan? And I don't even need a big holistic 5-year plan. Siyadlala namhlanje. How are we going to score? 2 of the goals that we scored in the past 2 games have come from blatant defensive mistakes. Blatant. Velase in the last game versus TS Galaxy, and now I'm forgetting his name in this one to grant us the goal in the first minute. We have not created, we have not played. There are players, I see now African Music is asking about Matlo. There are players who we don't know where they've disappeared to. Matlo, Mtanzane, Potsane. There's a list of players. Marta has, if he's injured or if it's just, they've done what they needed to do with him. You have guys on the bench that were playing so well. Remember how much we were praising Castillo when we first saw him and he had just landed. In the first few games, he played against Sundowns, he played some of those games. He looked so good. He looked so good. He was scoring far post runs that he was scoring headers on. So now you have that data. I've got that data. You've got the data. Everybody's watched the data. You have all of that. How come nobody's making the right choices or the right changes? It seems even when they substitute, the subs are just, it's a lucky packet. As in the boy, we don't care. And I want to speak on Dr. Mlisa saying 90% of the players are not Chiefs material. I don't believe that, to be honest with you. I don't think the players are a problem. I think there's a bunch of problems happening at Kaizer Chiefs that are coming together and they are fighting each other. You can ask questions about the competitiveness of the team. My salary is already paid. My bonuses, fine, a bonus would be nice, but for the most part, my salary covers most of my things. I play every week, whether I win, lose, or draw, right? Why would I play hard? Because Sundowns, not only do you have the competition to know that on the bench there's people better than you, the pressure of knowing that there's a transfer window that happens twice every year, that Sundowns is going to get better in and will replace you. And you still have performance bonuses on top of that that are based on you winning. Number one. Number two, you have a tactical conversation. What I just broke down right now, that we're playing 3 systems in one team and we're expecting to go out and win. And we don't repeat the things that have worked in the past. Everybody here knows, or I'd like to assume that everybody here knows that Modi scores when he's playing with Mtanzane. And how he scores is that he comes from the wing, cuts in, plays a 1-2, and he shoots. So why don't you create more opportunities for him to cut in, play the 1-2 and shoot. We know that Dupreez is fast. 2 or 3 of his goals, I remember the one versus Cape Town City, if I'm not mistaken, where literally we've sucked them in, we hit them on a counter. That defender, remember even the chip one that he missed, those defenders can't catch him. So all we'll do is we'll keep him as high as possible. As soon as we're defending, we win the ball back, we play the ball out. He chases, or we play the ball to Mtanzan again, who played through balls through to Dupreez. We don't do that. We've seen Rangati Vavairo taking certain shots and being in certain points in the box. Nobody's repeating those things. We all know that Saile comes in last 15 minutes when the game is broken down and both the teams are playing for the win and not necessarily for the tactics. And he exploits those spaces. We also know that you give Saile the ball when he's inside the box. We don't give him time. If you give him the ball halfway line, he's probably going to make a mistake somewhere while he's running up that wing. We know, but yet we find him playing in those situations. Like, there's so many things that I see at Kaizer Chiefs, and over and above the fact that these things are going wrong, I question that, is there no one in the team, no one in Naturena on a Monday that goes, guys, these are the patterns that we've seen. Can we go and play like this? But the other problem is that I feel as though the people we are signing at Kaizer Chiefs view Kaizer Chiefs as an achievement itself and not necessarily as a place where you go win. I honestly feel like Chiefs has become a bucket list item for everybody who deals with Kaizer Chiefs. Coach Johnson coached at Platinum Stars, coached at was it Bloem Celtic, coached at a lot of places. Never got to coach at Kaizer Chiefs. Now I get the phone call. I will go to Kaizer Chiefs. Whether I am worthy of being that head coach or not, I will go. You hear most of the players, they're 28, they're 29. I think they understand that Sundowns is not going to look at me. You know, I'm over that hill. They're not going to look at me. Pirates does not play in terms of those type of things. I can go to Kaizer Chiefs where I can say I supported Kaizer Chiefs as a child. It's a bucket list. I get to take a box. Good to say I win or not. Gafana, Itaima, Bel support the Chiefs, Namga support the Chiefs. When I go to Kaizer Chiefs and I'm sitting inside, I have now completed something that is a big deal within my family. It feels like they're just there just to say that I played 2 years in Naturena. And I think this all comes down to easy decisions by management. It's easy to hire Kevin Johnson than to go out and go find a coach that's going to take the team forward, that's going to be hard on you guys, that's going to have high standards, that's going to ask a lot from you, that's not going to allow you to sign players on their behalf, that's not going to allow you to dictate their own stuff, it's hard to do those things because you have to give up control, you have to spend a lot of money, and you have to leave that in somebody else's hands. It's hard to go and find great players or even good players that are going to fit into your system because one, you have to go find the system. And when you find the system, you then have to go populate your team, even in the back, with people that understand that system. So if I'm playing tiki-taka, my development coach has to be tiki-taka, all of them. My TD has to be a tiki-taka gent. All of these people have to be tiki-taka gents. I have to add more than I'm going to be subtracting. That's hard. What's easy is, okay, the people are making a noise about this player. Oh, we've always had an eye on this player, regardless of how we're playing right now. We go and snap them up and bring them in. That's easy. You know, it's easy to go back to Zita Kwinika, who left, went to Stellenbosch, and you can come back and say, Zita, come back. It's easy to extend Santi's contract. It's easy. All of these things are easy choices. And it's choices that are not going to rock the boat. Uata was a former player. I've been his boss ever since Adlale Chiefs. Uzong Paramelo atazwane maskupotrum. Or will I be able to dictate what we have to do here? Kevin Johnson is thankful for this job. You hear him every day branding, the people in the back, Kemiso, Jessica, Kaizer Junior, Bobby. You hear him every day in every single press conference. Do you think that that's a person who's going to sit in the back and look Bobby in the eye and say, my guy, I'm not going to do the thing that you want me to do and rock the boat? Unteki, after being Bafana coach and leaving and disappearing, doesn't even have PSL experience in coaching as a head coach. You think that that guy is saying no if I call him and I say, no, come join the Kaizer Chiefs family. I know I can control that situation. And lastly, before I bring in Schweinsteiger, I think Chiefs must just realize that they're outdated now. I don't think Bobby is doing anything so wrong. I don't think the management doing anything so wrong. I just feel like they're running Chiefs like it's 2003. And I feel like those models, those ways of finding players, those ways of bringing in coaches, those ways of controlling everything between 3 or 4 people, it's over with. You need more people. You need fresh ideas. You need experience. I always use Mamelodi Sundowns as the example. Guys, when a decision is made at Mamelodi Sundowns, it has to go through Rulani and his team, Bo Michael Loftman, Bo Mangoba, all those guys. It has to go through Fleming. Fleming is the technical director who comes from, he was the Chelsea, one of the Chelsea scouts. He's the guy that built the Danish, if I'm not mistaken, the Danish FA, their development structures and all of that. It has to go through him. It still has to pass through Trotmoloto, who's an advisor to the president. That's the formal title. But Abo Trotmoloto, Abo Mambush Mudau, all of those people to make any amount of decisions. These are the different perspectives you are getting. How many perspectives do you get at Kaizer Chiefs that can make sure that maybe what we are building right now is the right thing that is based on other things? How many perspectives do we get? Can we name the other management people at Chiefs? Guys, who's the development head right now with Kevin Johnson being head coach? Who's the developmental head? We know about Kaizer Jr. We know about Bobby. We know about all those guys. Okay, fine. That's literally Bobby, Kaizer Jr., coach, Atazwane. I don't know, let's say Jessica, Kemiso. 25 people are in Rulani's staff under Rulani at Sundowns. 25. Then above him, there's another team of people, Yabo Fleming. The sporting, the academy director comes from Portugal or something like that. You still have the legends and the heads. I just counted 6 people. Oh, Geraldsberg, 8 people. That's the decision-making people at Kaizer Chiefs, the trust. Of those people, how many are actually making decisions? Come on, guys. It's really not 2003. It's really not 2003. You need to get up in the times. But anyway, Schweinsteiger, what are your thoughts about the game and also what we're speaking about here?
Yeah, about the game, it's just the game, man. You know Kaizer Chiefs, so we are used to that. So I'm not a Chiefs fan, but now I know Chiefs one day. It's just that Kaizer Chiefs have this minor problems that are causing so much damage into their brand and the way they play football. Because now, one thing I saw when they started buying players, there was nothing wrong with the squad and everything, but now they're buying accordingly to how the media is selling those players. And they bought that. And they bought that. So that was the problem first. So now, with that problem, so going forward, it is a problem. So now, the next step from now is go back to the drawing board again, look for players. So because now bapa in Bombay, so now mela babuyisela eMbombay emuva bathola amanye ama-player amanye futhi, of which is it's going to understand kufanele ukuthi bacalisela phansi. You understand? So they will always be on that. So What they need is a coach, just like Middendorp, disciplinarian. You need that coach, yabo. Uzokutholela ama-players that afuna ukudlala i-team, regardless ukuthi yabo unjani, but a person that is willing to play, a person that wants to raise his hand, yabo. With that, okay, uzokenzela i-structure leso. Bese then bring someone in like Atazwani back again. I don't know if even that is possible to fetch you understand, the million or either Atazwani. I don't know if he pride is that big or anything. I think those for me are my coaches that for the Chiefs, they were sharp. They just needed to buy one of those stars. If you see someone in Stellenbosch is doing well and everyone can see by contender and the Sundowns, like Mendieta. Mendieta is on the market and we can all see. Let's chase that player with Sundowns, compete. Chiefs has a huge checkbook. Chiefs are in They can compete with Sundowns in terms of the checkbook. They can. Just that ish. We don't know, man. Njoba ushila with the departments over there consulting, who gets the message to who, ganjani, all of those. I think that was a problem, So, but now Chiefs will come back. But now what they need to do for themselves is one. Let them avoid it. Ugubagu top 8. Ask me why. It will give them a time. Yeah, avoid being on top 8. Guys, no man go top 8. So we are back to the season. It's the tournament. Another pressure. Then you still wanna have to play league and maintain. Let's start a point. So what's a point? It's no pressure top 8. Where else? Previously on the league, we are not doing okay. Singene ngongena obviously aniyazi ukuthi maningena ngizongena senikuthi number 8 yabo. So already kuyabheda siyabona. Avoid that ukungena ku top 8 bese siyazi ukuthi okay sharp sizodlala ileague, so focus ku league manje. Nizowathola lama 3 points kancane kancane, lama club la kaswaka azoshaya yabo, because now already sebane plan yabo. It's all about that in the league. Collect those small points. Let's go back to helicopter if possible, yabo. As long as you score my 3 points. By the time we play my 8 games, I see man, Chiefs has been collecting points because people have written off the Chiefs. No matter what dlala nabo senyazi ziyasha. Understand? Abasasabi lama team la mancane asayisabi Chiefs, like abo Mazulu, they're not scared, man. They don't fear Chiefs anymore. Akuna player abaziyo. That's why I was asking you, Guti, who's the star player? Yeah, but if you have a star player like Utoli, for an example, at the time Utoli was a star player, now as a player with Utoli. Most importantly, mangabuzo ateki position yako. Like you fear that. That's how some player not konutoli, yabo. Aliki player ngasabi lingi player amangala. Now yazi mazobhekana no Tito, yes. Sazodlala, you understand? Chiefs need that element there.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
You understand? So, yeah, that's my whole thing. Avoid the top 8. Collect those small points while Balava Lama top 8 and stuff. Because now with Pirates as well, sorry to mention that. I think they lost it when because Bebadlala MTN 8. That's where in other games they lost those points along that tournament as well. It takes away those points now. You understand? So by the time we play top 8, must be a move a Sun League, we're trailing behind. We need to catch up. That's where my injuries comes in. Game plan. It's all about that.
I
So
know.
Zobasi.
Okay, no, Schwester, thank you so much. Let me bring in Dr. Mdise. Dr. Mdise, what do you think about the Chiefs game that was played versus Amazulu, and then also this conversation we're having?
Each other, how's it?
Hi, man. Galaxy is the Dr. Mdise, am I right? Tell me how are you?
Kuzolunga mfowethu, kuzolunga ungawari. Bheka angithi wena uyangikrasha mangithi 90% of Chiefs players, they're not the material of Kaizer Chiefs. Let me ithi ngicacise le ndaba.
Okay.
let's give an example in a Sundowns.
Yeah.
If you'll take our videos as Sundowns are 1987, 1988, 1990,
Yeah.
and the white Sundowns here, you can see the identity.
Mm.
Let's go back to Amakos. I mean, Amakos is a big brand. I'm not supporting them, but they're the biggest brand in this country.
Okay.
Go back to, I don't know when, Rudolph Gardner Siali, come, Chiefs ya pelela monga to ujabupulo ya hamba na ya hamba.
Yeah.
Now, what's the problem? Chiefs has an identity, Chiefs have an identity, Chiefs have an player. I mean, I'm sorry to mention names. This guy from Stellenbosch was playing number 6. Batuban. Umtetwa. He can't even trap the ball.
Mm.
Go Kaizer Chiefs. Go back to Kaizer Chiefs in that position where he plays. Bognabo DDA's Kuze. Bognabo Dr. Kumalo.
Yeah.
Someone who can make things happen.
Yeah.
Even now, if Ngabo Zawena Pozogari, who's the star player at Kaizer Chiefs now?
Mm.
Someone now will represent Kaizer Chiefs at Bafana. No one. Let Kaizer Chiefs, the management of Kaizer Chiefs, start to sign the players according to the philosophy of Kaizer Chiefs.
Mm.
We always say Sundowns sign players according to their philosophy. They fit like a glove. So what is the philosophy of Kaizer Chiefs at present moment? At present moment, I mean, let's look at Dolly. Someone mentions Dolly here. Let's look at Dolly, quality player. Look at the CBD. They were dangerous at Sundowns. What happened when they get to Kaizer Chiefs? Because of each and every coach, when it comes, we just play. I mean, Kaizer Chiefs, the last time they went to position 2, they were playing like Vets University. If you know said that skipper Kaizer Chiefs or Vets, someone who left South Africa 10 years back, now got Vets University playing. But Sundowns, even if you have a trouble like that, Kaizer Chiefs, you'll say, hey, Kaizer Chiefs is playing like Sundowns today. Let's Kaizer Chiefs go back to their identity. We all know the identity of Kaizer Chiefs.
Do you know what my thing is, Dr. Mdise? The reason why I don't like having the player chats too much is that I feel as though what happens at Kaizer Chiefs, and the big problem with Kaizer Chiefs is that the solution is always outside. So we will fetch players up until. We'll fetch players every year thinking that we're fetching Kaizer Chiefs quality. I always go, when I look at Kaizer Chiefs and I look at them and I go, okay, fine, the transfer window is shut. What can you do with the players that you have? I think I've gotten to the point where I see the question about the overall style. But I feel like everybody's hiding behind that instead of going, okay, guys, Mtetwa is not Dr. Kumalo, right? How do we make Mtetwa shine? Dupreez is not Besuma. How do we make Dupreez shine? Because, again, for me, we know what Mtetwa was. Mtetwa could trap, he could pass, he was starting Stellenbosch's attacks, he was trapping the ball, turning, going with it. We know what he was. That's not what he is at Chiefs. Dupreez, we know what Dupreez was at Stellenbosch. He was one of the most dangerous strikers in the league. He was playing a specific way. He's not that at Chiefs. We look at Dolly, we know what Dolly was before going overseas, and we know what he was CBD, right? It can't be that all of those players are all of a sudden Jabulo Ngobo, defender of the season before he came to Kaizer Chiefs. Lebogang Manyama, player of the year, player. Hey, all of those things when he was at Cape Town City. Comes into Chiefs, all of a sudden, he's the shadow of his former self. For me, at some point, we're going to have to stop looking outside and start going, guys, you can cry about Mamelodi Sundowns having players and having their style of play. You can cry about the quality of the players, but these are your players, right? Rather, I see you guys have a plan on the pitch and lose. Like you had a plan, I could see what you guys were trying to do, and you lost Shem because the other team had your number. But to watch them running around in circles as old players, as experienced players. You watch Coach Johnson, one of the most experienced coaches in the league right now, look like he doesn't know how to do subs. It makes me think, man, Dr. Mliz, there's something there that I'm not understanding, if that makes sense.
So if I understand you, you think maybe management only interference.
Managemental interference, yeah, I could say that, but my issue is still, even when you look at the players themselves, even when you look at coach themselves, I don't know what happens at Kaizer Chiefs, honestly speaking. I don't know if
Abana kucha.
Mara
Kucha.
liko groundung. Right now you're saying
No. At Kaizer Chiefs at present moment, for me, they don't have a coach, and I was disappointed when the management of Kaizer Chiefs une udinaya Pitso Mosimane and that guy of Lerkema Autiwa ko Tanzania. I'm right.
Nabi.
That guy was coaching younger.
Nabi.
Nabi came. Yes, Nabi came and say, "Kikele staff saka. This is 2023. This is 2024. I come with my assistant," and then the management refused. I think management of Kaizer Chiefs should have just accepted the offer of that guy to come with his staff. Maybe, perhaps in Nalwena now, Ngeveribua a different story. Because of at present moment, as much as Kibuaka culture at Kaizer Chiefs, there is no culture because of we don't have coach. Kaizer Chiefs doesn't have a coach. I don't think you'll give Gavin Johnson Mamelodi Sundowns. I don't think so.
No,
I don't. That's what
I think my fight becomes, for me, at this current moment, after 9 years trophyless, I'm not even asking him to be Sundowns. I'm asking them to come out 90 minutes and have a plan. Surely, you get what I mean?
Which
like
doesn't.
have a plan.
Which he doesn't. So you agree with me when I say abana coach, ana plan.
But then lili play. Mthetwa na trapa ka hamnati mthetwa na trapa hamnati ko Stellenbosch. Now they can't even.
So you know
about communicating.
You know why you can't trap. You know why you can't trap now. Ana formation a dlalanga yona. I mean, you analyze football every day. I listen to you. I watch you. If I will ask you, formation ya Kaizer Chiefs king. At Sundowns, you know, even if I get formation, but we know that get 3-4-3. At Kaizer Chiefs, at present moment, Chiefs gala formation A-fee.
But besides that, Dr. Mdize, my point is, they scored 2 goals from similar situations the past 2 games. The one was a corner, if I'm not mistaken, and the other one was a cross. I look at the players, where I fight the players, and I go, Mara, men behind. Eritzebang from Kokraundu, Redala on Kostanteng. We know men behind. You look at this, do that, move like that, here comes a player. All of a sudden, they can't even do those small things.
Coach, go and read Buka ya Teko Modise. And Teko Modise ubuaga Sundowns here before Pitso Mosimane and Sundowns here after Pitso Mosimane. Now you can the influence of a coach. That's why I'm saying Kaizer Chiefs are kujara. If you look at Sundowns, people say Sundowns have quality. Sundowns always had quality from Kabozola Mahobe. Until now, Sundowns was at position 14 before Pitso Mosimane. Pitso Mosimane didn't use Muti, but it's a quality coach. He's a quality coach from Go Super Sport. He's a quality coach. If you read that book
but then Kevin Johnson, okay, I'll count these ones just because I have to. Kevin Johnson, Zwane, Kimang Ntseki, Gavin Hunt, okay, Middendorp did well, Steve Kompela, Vemezovic, Solinas. Are all of these people not good coaches?
It depends the magnitude of the club. Let's go to Liverpool. Liverpool had many coaches before Klopp, I'm right? With what? 19 to 20 years of poor results. But
They'd
Klopp
won the
came.
Champions League, though. They'd won the Champions League. Brendan Rodgers finished second. But anyway,
Yeah, but the Chiefs agree on the past 3 years kabo Middendorp. But what happened? Now if the Kaizer Chiefs management they watch your show, my advice to them is one of the followers said William Trannator, Chiefs can compete on coming to money. Chiefs tabaya coach Nabi. Next tabaya challenge, they have money.
It was
We all know that Chiefs have money. They should have just at present moment article in the past. My advice to my Tiamaku, get a proper coach. A proper coach. Look at Sundowns. Sundowns went to Holata. Many coaches, okay, which they failed, okay, until Pitso Mosimane came. So now I'm asking the management of Kaizer Chiefs, just go back to the drawing board. You know, the senior one said Kaizer Chiefs to survive, they need a foreign coach. Still remember that? That's no local coach can coach.
The senior one. The senior one. That's
But you remember that? I mean, it can go something. As a Sundowns fan, it's very nice when I win the league. When I win the league and I beat Kaizer Chiefs. You know, Kaizer Chiefs should be number 2 now. Kaizer Chiefs should be number 3. Not talking about a top 8.
Yeah.
So Henna Kebaka Stellenbosch. What does it say about my Tamakos?
Let me
as a Sundown support.
Let me bring in Schweinsteiger. I think he wanted to say something. Schweinsteiger.
Yeah. Like I said, man, we can't always blame on the coach, man. We keep on saying the system that they're playing, it's not the one. Like there was a guy that said Chiefs needs 10 tens. I would agree with him because now if doctor says they need a high profile coach, when you look at coaches like about 10, so rights are out. So the formation of Ungujala or the type of system or the type of football you want to play, that's the coach you need to bring in. With 10-10s, we know what they're trying to do now needs 10-10s. They're trying to pass the ball around. They want to look like Sundowns or either Pirates. They want to play like a Soweto team, as Sherry Ball, as Jack, They want to do that. But now with the players that they have, they can't do that.
But can I ask you, do they want to do that?
They want to do that. They want to play that football. But now, what? I'm a player that can do that. Ask me. Bo, Beguban Obrigado, the young Obrigado. No sugar, can pass the ball. You understand? So obviously, with your wingers like Abo Dupri, Yabona, Ngakonum guy passing yan like Abo Zwane, Lentwan is Abo Zwane. Chiefs in a development sharp. If you can just have a look at the development, it's sharp. It's players that can play there on the first team. Just that you cannot bring the whole development now to understand it to the first team. But now the Chiefs wants to play the identity of passing ball. But now the players that they got are.
I don't even think they want to. I don't think so. Johnson is not a coach that does that. Kimang, the guy before him, Unsek is not a guy who does that. Zwane showed some glimpses, sure, but before Zwane we had Baxter for a bit, we had Gavin, we had Ernst Middendorf. That's why I'm asking you, is that a team that's showing you that they want to play this football? Because for me, I think we as fans want that football. I don't think Chiefs wants it.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
If I'm being 100% honest with you, I don't think Chiefs wants it at all.
So you mean they want the helicopter? Because now you've been winning a set piece and all that.
Listen to what they say. I want a foreign coach. Only foreign coaches are able to take this. Most foreign coaches come in a helicopter. The ones that they go fetch from Kosebia come in a helicopter. all of the local coaches that they've tried out are basically non-football playing coaches.
Yeah.
I honestly think that that's not what they want to do.
Yeah, but now they can, because already with the disappointment that they're having, we can see they are trying. You understand? Let's not take away the little things that happens. Like we can see they're trying to do that, but now they fail on doing it. We're just bringing the younger boys to par now. They're trying to do that, but like you say,
I think it's half and half. To the point Dr. Mbise said now, I think in South Africa we focus too much on the coach. And what I'll explain is this. I think
Yeah.
when Klopp arrived at Liverpool changed everything. They fired executives, they fired what's his name? Not Komoli. They fired a whole bunch of people. They had a new CEO, chief executive that they took, Mark Andrews. They changed everything about the club. So I feel like in South Africa, what we do is we have cosmetic changes that happen at the top, right? And the reason why the coaches don't work and the players don't work, it's really very simple. Today I've got Middendorp.
So OT.
Uh-huh.
So are you saying the Chiefs players are unhappy? Are you saying Kaizer Chiefs players are unhappy about top minutes?
No, I'll explain. Let me explain. I bring in Middendorp. Middendorp comes with his style of play. Middendorp affects my club. He signs his players. That's a short-term signing. For most coaches are short-term signings. He stays for a year, stays for 2 years, he leaves. Now I'm still stuck with a player like Middendorp who still have 2 or 3 years left on their contracts. In comes the next coach. The next coach is now forced to play with the players that Middendorp left behind, and maybe bringing his own players on top of that, maybe, kind of. You can only bring in a couple. Then we get rid of that coach. Whereas, I believe that you alter the whole club. So Chiefs, as a club, has to sit down. If it means going to other teams and benchmarking, going to other teams and finding out how they're playing, what they need to do is to sit down and say, as Chiefs, we want to be a tiki-taka team, let's say. We want to put the ball down, play tiki-taka. That means that I need my executives to be tiki-taka executives. When Pep arrived at Man City had gotten rid of their technical director to bring in the guy who was the technical director for Pep, Chicky Bergestan, when he was still at Barcelona. So the club has to decide, Guti, this is how we want to play. And once you've decided what you want to play, everything else becomes easier, regardless of which coach you bring in. Because why? If I really want to play a helicopter, I know that the coaches that I'm going to go for are helicopter coaches. They might have slight differences between them, but I will know when I go into the market that I'm going to go scout these guys. And when I go into the market for players, I know that regardless of if I fire Dr. Mbise tomorrow, I'm going to bring in a Schweinsteiger who plays the same exact football that Dr. Mbise plays. There might be a difference in the players that he wants, but he's not going to be able to complain about the players that he wants to play, right? I think that Kaizer Chiefs has to be more competitive too. So you have to restructure contracts. A lot of those players are complacent. They know, Guti, I can trap, I can do whatever. I'm going to trap, I'm going to pass. I'm going to play tomorrow. I'm going to play.
Yeah,
Next
I know,
week when the game comes up, you know, Mtetwa, we complain about him. He's playing next game. He's played 3 games now in a row. Utove, when Tove comes back from his red card, he's going straight to center back. Right? Regardless of whether Tolama red card Angaki, how many mistakes he's made over the years, he's going directly back there. Right? Umfundo can come in and play well, but because he's not in the clique, Umfundo's going to sit on the bench. He's going to come on from the bench. Uzwani, we all saw glimpses of Zwani being great. He's going to sit on the bench and watch the other ones, right? There's no accountability at Kaizer Chiefs at all. There's no accountability. The nice thing about Sundowns, and before I bring in Dr. Mdis, the nice thing about Mamelodi Sundowns, it's not just Rulani, right? Rulani has been at Mamelodi Sundowns since he was coaching under 19. The culture is in him. But when Pitso arrived and Pitso had to change that culture, he went, okay, I am Pitso, I am a manager, I am not a coach. So when I get here and I'm a manager, I'm gonna bring in Mangoba because equal in arrows, bafana best 10. They play a little bit of that shushan and piano that I want. I'm gonna bring him in. I'm gonna bring in these ones. There's a coaching staff full of people who understand the Sundowns way. You can change Rulani tomorrow. They'll go and find a coach that coaches like Sundowns because they know what they are. So I agree with Dr. Mdiso on that point that Chiefs doesn't know what they are. The only difference is that I don't believe Chiefs had an out-and-out style of play, to be honest with you. I believe that Chiefs had a standard. And the moment the standard dropped, everything went away. So, for example, every coach that came to Kaizer Chiefs knew that you're not going to get time, you're not going to get coddled, you have to win at least a trophy every year. You have to. And even if you're good, it's only 2 years you would get. So whether it was Dimitri coming in, whether it was after Dimitri Rabo Ace Kuse, Nabo Dr. Kumalo, whether it was Costa Papish, Costarin Papish coming in, whether it was any of those coaches, they all knew, Guti, this was the standard. And Chiefs wants the best from you. Now it's teka-taking. Because if you listen to Senior, Motaung Senior in an interview with BBK literally said, we were waiting for Sundowns to drop. We're not chasing. We're no longer chasing. We're waiting for Sundowns to drop. One day Sundowns will run out of steam. One day we'll do something. But in terms of us wanting that thing, it's not going to be there. But anyway, I don't want to go too far. Dr. Mdize.
Sure.
No, you said it. I've got a video. I got banned on Facebook. I'm not even going to speak about it. But I've got a video where I went through the interview and I took some of the things he had said. It was scary that is your leader, top chairman. And all he was saying was, Bayern, two things. Bayern won the league 13 times in a row, right? You can't stop a Bayern. Then he said Liverpool went 30 years without winning the league. So that's my chairman in an interview saying that, guys, we're willing to wait 30 years. Also, Sundowns, we're not chasing Sundowns. We're going to wait for them to mess up. in 15 years, when they mess up, they'll come back down to us. You know? That's scary. Dr. Mdize?
Sure. Mara, Nalu and we agree on one thing. Kaizer Chiefs need to go back to their style. You have said a good point. The player, Chiefs, I need to resign which player because of they don't have the identity. Once they have the identity, then they will know that we can't sign Dr. Modise because of he won't suit Stelseres Kjala. We won't sign Pitso Mosimane because of he won't suit Stelseres Kjala. So Chiefs aina, as I've said from the beginning, Hore, aina identity. Whereas we all know the identity of Kaizer Chiefs. Even the senior knows the identity of Kaizer Chiefs. Junior and all these young Motaung children, they know the identity of Kaizer Chiefs. If they sign you as a coach, it must be hori baboni hori you play their style. They show you the videos about this is Kaizer Chiefs. This is how we play. When you twiggle how it's yours. But this is the base. They don't have a base. Everyone, you're gonna come up with your style.
Exactly.
I don't think Kaizer Chiefs, if you win eternally, helicopter football. Monday you go to DC. You must go to DC to say yes. We have seen we win Nemara. This is not Kaizer Chiefs. It's very painful. As much as supported their rivals, but it's very painful. I was watching Dr. Kumalo playing, and I'm telling my children this is the mighty Amakos. This is Kaizer Chiefs. And then the question go, you and I join every day. No, not this one. This one was good. You know, let Amakos go back to their culture of playing.
I think only disagree on this. I don't necessarily need them to go back. I just need them to pick something. Just pick something.
No.
That's my thing.
No, if they will go to their style of play, yes, it's a modern football, modern coaches, things will come up, but at least let's have the identity. Even if ask Kaizer Chiefs who are yapesa Geria Pirates, so I'm saying if you go stadium, Pirates plays like Kaizer Chiefs today. You get what I'm saying? But at present moment, go and watch Kaizer Chiefs. Oh, now but the best helicopter football, Minendorp, Ernst. Ne?
Yeah.
And go and watch the videos. And I think Athazwane on the past 5 coaches or so, he was trying something. It's just I think the supporter really fedile pelo ka pele. Kodwa yena bazanga something na ubona ukuthi mhlawumbe mabangamniki ithuba wenzakala something. But unfortunately, the supporter of South Africa yabale hore mafella pelo. But my point
Okay, go on.
My point is simple. It's simple. I hope the Motaung family, they watch this show. Let them go back to the basic of Kaizer Chiefs. They mustn't copy Sundowns. They mustn't copy Barcelona. They mustn't copy and let them go to their basic and then get a coach that suits their style of play. And a modern coach, ba gaetso banna gona le sekolo banna. Ntola hona re motho ke coach ara na coach ka gona le di UEFA what. Gona le di CAF A license. Yes, I'm educated. And Kaizer Chiefs, it's a big team, this thing Kaizer Chiefs, they must invest in Kaizer Chiefs. Not I already discredit their business, but December, it says I'm marketing more customers, whereas they have the best customers in the country. At present moment, they must market themselves as Kaizer Chiefs. Who says the Lina no? I mean, I was go FNB. I just want to watch this game. It was painful to watch Kaizer Chiefs play like that. I mean, Lerke Saile player how? Daman Agastene Kaizer Chiefs of Dr. Kumar. Yeah, na mthatho ole Motsepe nga tshwere mohuba mo hare ka Kaizer Chiefs abo DDA skuza aka tsene there man aka se nne le go benching. So what happened? Why at present moment Arena the cream de la cream of the world, not South Africa, of the world. I mean, who le ke mang player le mosanile ke Gonzalez. Ke Gonzalez player le sanile. I mean, that player, I guess Gallo go the late Free State Stars. And then you take that player, Wari, Okala Mighty Amakos. Okay, Cafeta for time. Cafeta. Okay, Cafeta. Do you think there's any player, ko Pirates, aka shiftang relebogile mo Fukeng ko Pirates? Give me one player go Kaizer Chiefs. If I take this player from Kaizer Chiefs, Kamisa go Pirates. Give me one.
Oh, that can suit Pirates. Off the top of my head, Mdu. I'd go with Mdu.
Which I don't think Agabi Relebogile Benchi.
Well, he's 2 years in. He's 2 years in. Remember, he's got more experience and he was lighting at a light. It's just that he doesn't have a supporting cast like Lebury.
Anna supporting, which means you agree with me that the players that in Kaizer Chiefs, 90% of them, they are not the material of Mighty Amakos.
I don't agree with you with that one. But for time's sake, wait, let me bring in Schweinsteiger. Schweinsteiger, you wanted to ask something, and also can you also jump in and just wrap up on your side?
Hey man, I think I even forgot the question, but now I think it was part of the comments that were there as well. You know, so yeah, let me just go back. Yeah, but we can just continue.
Yeah,
because now he was also asking, Doctor, it needs to reply in terms of which identity is he talking about. So I also wanted to know that as well. Yeah, which identity?
For
If
time's
they have to
sake,
go back.
for time's sake, I think I'll make it. Can we have the identity conversation as a whole tomorrow? I'll make it a topic tomorrow because I've gone over time right now. I'll make it the topic for tomorrow's episode. 7 o'clock, guys. 7 o'clock. Just to close off for me, guys. Look, I just want a direction, and I want you to be full on in the direction. And I think some clubs are lucky that they've had the identity forever and it's iterated throughout the club. But for me, I honestly just want Chiefs to figure out what they want to do. One meeting where they go, guys, we want to play tiki-taka or whatever football. We want to play tiki-taka. Now, for the next 6 months, all we are going to be doing is, hello, Barcelona. Hi, Barcelona. Kaizer Chiefs. We want to send somebody to you guys or send a group of people, a delegation to you guys for 6 months to study this tiki-taka thing. We want to look at other clubs that play a similar thing that we can get to. And we want to benchmark ourselves and figure out what type of things are in the back. What are you guys doing in the back? How do you structure your play? Why do you do this? What are the values? All of that stuff, right? And I want them to come back and then go, we're going to put all of that together and create something, create that thing. Because for me, the club is directionless at the moment. And the directionless goes from the top all the way to the bottom. We don't know what we want to play. We don't know where we want to finish. What's the goal at Kaizer Chiefs? What is the standard bearing thing that we speak about and we say, that's how we know whether you have failed? I hear you guys speaking about Tshwane, for example. I hear you guys speak about Tshwane. What was Ata's mandate? Were we going to grade him? We love him. What does the team want to do? Then you restructure everything. You have to restructure everything. So if you want to be a tiki-taka, that means I'm a development coach who is a tiki-taka. A technical director in tiki-taka. Management in tiki-taka. The assistant coaches, the analysts, all those people have to be strong. Guys, we all play FIFA. We all play FIFA. Again, when you're looking for scouts, they even tell you this scout is good at this and this and this. So now when you've got that identity and you know what you want to do and you've restructured the bag, that's when we'll see. But if we keep taking these little bandages and saying, Pitso will fix it. I know this one will fix it without changing things, we're going to find ourselves directionless. From Sundowns, there was something from Sundowns that I saw. The technical director of Sundowns, Fleming, they go to this thing every year. It's like a symposium with other clubs. Allende, from the point where they knew about him to when he was signed, it was 2 weeks. It happened in a 15-minute conversation because they knew exactly what they wanted. So 15-minute conversation with another executive who was like, actually, there's another player that we know from South America that fits the criteria that you guys are looking for. Then they did their due diligence. That took about 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. Then from that 3 days, when everybody had now seen this and all of them had come to an agreement, 2 weeks later, Allende walks in. He fits directly into Sundowns. Why? Because they understand what they want to do. At Chiefs, we have Kimang Chivavairo walking through the door. Same transfer window. He's joining Ashley Dupreez. Then we have him Tetwa walking in. While we're also having Castillo. Then we also have Stebe who walked in the other year. Then we've got all these players don't fit. It's that thing I was saying from the beginning. If you look at it objectively now, to give you a sheet of paper and say, this is Chiefs' team, most of those players don't fit together. You wouldn't know what you want to play. At Sundowns, the reason why it might be a little bit easier is because they understand, oh, in my midfield, I need a ball player that does 1, 2, and 3. That way I can transition from a Xavi to a Fabregas, to a this, to a that, because I know what the archetype is, what is there. And lastly, when I close, another part of this whole philosophy and identity chat is standing behind your identity. When Tate Motsepe brought Pitso Mosimane in and Sundowns fans were going crazy, when Sundowns fans didn't want him, you know what Tate Motsepe did? Hi, guys, we did the hard work to go find this coach. We did the hard work to figure out what we want to do. We did all that hard work. You, as fans, are not going to tell me about the work that we've put in. I will not allow you to dictate that I must now fire this coach, or I must now move towards you who sit at home. I am a TikTok guy who sits at home. I've never seen the inside of a Naturena office. So if you guys go and sign coaches and bring all those people in, you have to stand behind him. That's part of the identity chat. When things are getting hot, you stand behind it because you've done the work for this. I, as a fan, may not be able to see 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line. I may not be able to see. When, what's his name? Oh, Kana, who's that coach who quit? Antonio Lopez. Antonio Lopez quit because Mamelodi Sundowns fans went crazy. He quit. Tate Motsepe had to come out with statements for Pitso, guys. Let's not act like. He stood behind his man and his philosophy and his identity. Now, 20 years later, you can look back and say, oh, actually, or 15 years later, or however long, 10 years, you can sit back and look at it and say, oh, wow, that was such a great, oh, what a great choice that you made. I remember a Kaizer Chiefs. Where I did not know, guys, I didn't know Vemezovic when he arrived in the country. Did you guys know him? No. I didn't know the players. Did you know Negomasha before he got here? Did you know Collins Besuma before he got here? Did you know David Obua? Did you know any of those players before they got here? So then why now do you look at me and say that I must dictate what Chiefs does? Rather you hire me and I go sit at Naturena and you can give me a salary and then we can make those decisions. But you can't keep pointing at fans when you are meant to be doing the work. If fans are signing players on Facebook, if fans are signing players on Facebook and fans are signing coaches on social media, then begs the question, what do the Chiefs management do every day? One clock at 8 a.m. in the morning. One clock, when I walk into work at 8 a.m. in the morning, what do I do all day? When I'm an analyst at Kaizer Chiefs, and I walk in Monday morning at 8 p.m. to go do my job and click on a laptop, what am I doing if we don't change anything, if we don't see anything, and if fans are the ones that are deciding your stuff? Find your philosophy and stand behind it. Blaming fans is literally just an excuse they're using. It's just an excuse. We're looking at each other as fans. No, but you. No, but you. No, but you. Okusala lo muntu otype ama-contract, okhipha ama-contract, ophatala imali. That person who's making these decisions, 9 years of decisions. How many heads have rolled at Kaizer Chiefs management-wise? Tina, we're going to start looking at each other. Ugu Facebook, oh, Mtetwa. Oh, they're talking out of Mtetwa. We need to go sign Mtetwa. Is that what you do all day? Hi, guys. I'm sorry. Honestly speaking, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear any of that from that team. I don't want to hear any of that. You think Mamelodi Sundowns discusses with Sundowns fans what they're going to do next? Or reads Sundowns social media that the guys are busy saying that? Or do you just see a signing? Oh, Divine Lunga has signed. How many of you guys were watching Divine Lunga? Nah, guys. But anyway, guys, I've gone over time. I think tomorrow we'll speak about identities and philosophies and all of that, because I believe we overstate the role of coaches in this whole thing, and we let teams off the hook for not doing the work. I think any team should know exactly who the next 5-10 coaches are that are going to coach that team. 5-10, just off of the strength of knowing your philosophy. Not that every time a coach comes in, we must change. And then even if we do that, we only have change. I'm sorry. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. Follow if you have not followed. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7. The normal show, of course, Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. All of the previous shows are available. We've had some wide-ranging discussions. It's not just reviewing matches and talking about what we saw. We've had some really great discussions available on YouTube. If you want to join my WhatsApp group, that's where we go and discuss these things more and more and more. More and more in detail, and we go back and forth, and there's pictures and banter and all of that stuff. To join the WhatsApp group, guys, it's really a great place. Go on over to YouTube, click on subscribe, click on join, and you'll gain access. The link is in the member area, and you'll gain access to the WhatsApp group where we can have these discussions 24/7. The YouTube channel is the Overthinking Football Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. Bye, guys.